Okay, I put a new disc in my camera, and it doesn't tell me how much time I've used up because it's one of those really big ones. It just keeps telling me I have 32 minutes to record. Okay, so now at this point we're going to do the this area right here and put our side seams in. Okay, so what we're going to do, we made that one flap over, so what we're going to do is we're going to open it up so we can do that sewing. So take both of your pieces together, open it up, lay it flat, and then put a pin in it because this is where we're going to sew. Now, as far as the opening goes on the skirt, so you can get it on the doll, your best opening should be somewhere in the at least 2 inches. I would give myself at least a 2-inch opening so you can get it around her legs and her hips. This one here is the opening on here is 2.5 inches, and that seems to work well with the Journey Girls. So here I've got 2.5 inches is going to be somewhere around this area right here. Okay, so I'm going to leave through. I'm going to sew up and over, okay, and that's going to give me that flap in the front. So what is this? Okay, let's take that off. Too much thread. Now you don't need this tab if you don't want it, because if you have enough flap over here, you can just make this flush and put your snap here and not even have that flap over. But if you do want that flap over, that little square, this is how you do it. Okay, so I'm going to sew about a 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch away from my original line of sewing. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to zigzag across it and up, and I'm going to cut all this bulk out of here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch from the edge of that seam, and on that, you can't really see it, but remember how I ironed it? I know where the ironing mark is, but there is a little bit of an ironing mark here where we actually turned that in and sewed it. So let me backspace. I'll show it when I'm done here. So fast, go forward about 1/8 of an inch from the seam of that, from the edge of that other seam. Go up to that, okay, backspace, twice, forward twice, turn. Okay, it's like we're making a little cutout of this skirt. Okay, so straight forward twice, reinforce it, back twice, and straight forward. Okay, I'll show you what I did here. Okay, I sewed across here and then up. Okay, so now I'm going to take a zigzag, a real tiny zigzag. I'm going to zigzag here and I'm going to zigzag across here. So I'm going to go to my zigzag stitch. I'm going to go to one of my lower settings and I'm going to zigzag it. So I'm going to zigzag right in that. I'm going to zigzag right in that area between my sew line and that flap of fabric on the edge. Turn it and zigzag to the other side. Okay. Take that out. Cut your threads off. Take a good pair of scissors, because now we're going to cut all this bulk out. Okay, so you want to be careful when you cut this. So cut into right next to your zigzag stitching, and you're going to cut off all of those side pieces. Okay, so let me go this way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, I just cut that little triangle out of there. Okay, so that's my double folded fabric with my side seams. Okay, so now we've got that, so we're going to open this up, and we are going to stabilize this opening. Okay, so we're going to go, here's my, let me see if you can see better on the front. Okay, this is what we just did. We just put in our side seam, we cut it off, and now we're going to stabilize that. So this is where the skirt is going to fit on the doll, and we're going to stabilize that area right here. You can see better on this one. We're going to stabilize this area right here, because that's going to get a lot of a stress point. It's a stress point on these doll skirts. So we're going to zigzag across here to give it some stability. If we leave it the way it is, it'll probably be okay, but you should give it some stability. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this back the other way, and I'm going to zigzag across that. So make sure your seams are open. Use the same zigzag stitch that you just did on the other part. And you can feel with your finger where that ridge is, okay? So you want to zigzag right on top of that one point. Okay, so let me put that in there. If you need to mark it with a pin so you can see exactly where you're going, that's a good idea. So put your needle down and sew right across that area. You can tell because you're going through the bulk of the fabric, so you know it's you can feel it. Okay. You know, that's optional, but it helps. It does help to stabilize that overlap. Okay. So this is where we're at. Okay, here's the inside of the skirt. We cut that bulk out so we wouldn't have that when we add our ruffle. We top stitch this here, and now we have that for our opening of our skirt. And we can just do a snap, a buttonhole, whatever you want to do, and that's going to be the overlap on the skirt. Okay, so that is your basic skirt. You can stop, you can put a hem in it right now and stop, but I've got the ruffles to put on. So I'm going to put, because I want the small ruffle to go first, I'm going to do the, I think I did a 2-inch ruffle here. I did a 2-inch ruffle. So the 2-inch ruffle is going to go on the skirt first before I do the bigger ruffle. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a seam in here, and then I'm going to hem one edge of this, and then I'm going to do a running stitch here, and I'm not going to bore you on the video with this. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll come back when I have that part done. Okay. Okay, here's where I'm at. I have a concern with this fabric. This polka dot fabric is very thick. It's a very thick cotton. So I don't think that I'm going to be able to get 2 rows of gathers to fit on the bottom of this skirt. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this wide of a ruffle on this skirt. I didn't have any problem with this one because this fabric is that thin, stretchy stuff, and it just hangs because that's just the nature of this knit. Now this this, I may have to cut this down. I've got about 29 inches of fabric that I sewed together. I put a hem in the bottom, and then I've run gathering stitches on the top so that I can gather it and attach it to the skirt. I'm going to not do this on camera because I may end up having to, it's just going to take too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather my fabric, I'm going to put in a seam in here, and I'm going to see if I can get all this fabric to fit on the bottom of this skirt. And if I can, then I'll come back and show you how I sew this ruffle on. Okay.